and welcome to another My Little Podcast. We are your hosts. I am Bree. I'm here with my brother Bryson.
Hello.
My father Gary.
Hello.
And my mother Shelly.
Hi.
Today we're going to be talking to you about the recent weekly peek that we had coming out on Friday, which had the vein conversion in it. All kinds of fun stuff. We're also going to take some wonderful questions that came out on our Wednesday video, which was just a kind of a rundown of the equipment that we use here to make the videos. So welcome, and get some popcorn and settle on in, because we've got fun stuff to do. You'll notice that our background is a little different, and that is because we are in a remote location. Or not a remote one, but a different one.
At Grandma and Grandpa's.
Yeah, remote.
Yep.
It's remote.
Well, yeah.
So we came out to see them for a couple days here. So.
More desert.
Yeah, more desert, but a lot of fun. So that's what we're
Further into the desert.
okay. So let's see. Anyway, should we start with some comments here on the? Oh no, actually, what we should start with is the orchid, because we teased that.
Oh yes.
In the
That's
weekly
right.
peek.
Right.
And okay, so just to give this shot of this orchid a little bit of a
let's
setup.
do the setup though. The
Yeah.
setup is that last year Garen and Ellie had got both my mom and myself a orchid for Mother's Day, and we already kind of told this story, but and then both Mom and I just saw just through the year, we weren't talking to each other about the orchid. We've never had orchids, as far as I haven't. I don't know about her. And so I'd throw water on it occasionally because it was this beautiful little green leafy thing. And then to our surprise, both of us, the thing just grew up and bloomed and had even more blooms than when we got it. So it was very exciting to both of us to have that happen. And then when we talked to each other about it, we had to show pictures to each other and whatnot.
This is the shot of the orchid.
Oh, yeah.
you
Since
wanna
we're
show
here
it?
at my mom and dad's, I got the orchid here, so I'll show it.
We didn't know we were
orchid.
going on a trip to see the second orchid.
Well,
Yeah,
no, that was the whole point of the
visiting
trip.
second orchid.
Yeah, we're visiting the second orchid.
All right.
There it is there. In all its glory.
All its orchidness.
Yeah.
really
so-
cool.
Now,
It's a
are
really cool
orchids,
plant.
I mean, it's almost spelled like orchid.
It is.
Orchid.
That's how I spelt it, and Bryson was like, the orchid. And I was like, actually, it's
No,
orchid,
it's
Bryson,
orchid.
but that's
It's an orchid or an orchid. So.
an orchid.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
It's an orchid.
Yours is similar to this, too, isn't it?
No, Mom's is pink, actually. I
Pink?
think.
Yeah. I think-
Different
Yeah, I think she has
colors,
like
Different
kind of like
colors,
a
same
pink
plant.
flower with white.
But they popped out. That was the coolest thing, you know?
It was cool. There's like this little spiral thing came out, and then boop, flowers came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Amazing.
Well, it's just weird, you know. You're like, what's this little spirally thing? You know, sometimes they go back in the ground and they grow back. You know, some plants do that. How they have that little spiral in it, like a strawberry.
Yeah.
Strawberry spirals out, goes into the ground, then plants the next one.
Is that how it goes?
Yeah,
Really?
like they come out in
Because
little
I
spirals.
saw a little out of mine now. There's another thing coming out.
Yeah, that
Should I
to
put
create
another
that
pot
patch of
next to it?
strawberries, kind of like the
Should we put another pot
kind of like
next to it?
the aloe vera does the same thing, but they're underground. They go underground.
Now,
and
could
then they
you?
pop up.
Can you cut that off and plant that, or does it have to have
That's
the mother
what I
plant?
did. The little what'll happen is the string will come out, and then a little plant will start growing on the end.
But
And then
can
you
I
put
cut
that in
that off
ground.
Can I cut that off the orchid?
Off the mother plant? Oh,
Yeah.
the orchid. Now the
Orchid.
the orchid. I don't know how orchids how they spread, but that's what I originally thought when I saw the spiral coming out. I thought that was another way to, how the plant goes more, but it out pop flowers. That was kind of funny.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
that's
great.
All right.
Well, we had the fish that we got on
Oh,
your
yes, the
guys'
fish.
trip on your guys' trip to save Shay in her vehicular unit.
Save the day.
Yeah. And there was some folks wondering what the whole snail thing was all about, and so we had a question from Sarah
Okay.
Merchuk. Says, how did the snails get in there? From the fish? These are water snails, right? Not land snails?
Yes, they are water snails. And they're mystery snails. Well, here's the thing.
How did they come
So-
about?
It's not such
So-
a mystery if you
My
tell the
thinking was
story.
this. My thinking was this. Well, there's algae in the tank. I heard snails, they're great at killing algae. So I just looked up the snail and I found this really cool, cheap, I think it was fairly cheap.
Yeah.
Little snail.
And it was red.
Looked harmless. It was red. It looked really cool. Heard they reproduce. We're like, okay, crazy, right? And then we also heard other things at the same time that, oh, don't be careful with the kind of snails you put in there. But, you hear that. You're like, it's no big deal. It'll be fine. They probably won't live anyway. Nothing else lives in there. And so we threw them in there.
Oh, and remember when we did, too? It was like, we didn't even, first of all, we had to text the guy to say, are they alive?
Yeah,
We
because
didn't know.
they were just on this, napkin.
Yeah,
and
and
we
then
thought
he
they were,
says,
dead.
He says if they had color, they were alive. So we're like, okay. And then you dropped them in, and we just watched them kind of
Spiral down
It's
the
like,
bottom.
are they even
I
alive?
know, we're like,
I recall a conversation where we were hearing people tell us not to put them in. And you guys were looking at this napkin full of these really sad looking snails, and you're like, surely they're not going to get that bad. There's only 5 of them. I remember that conversation. Look at them. I don't even know if they're alive. Just chuck them in. And anyway,
Do you think it was because we did the live long and prosper? Live long and prosper.
so we just figured, well, by the way, they don't. From what I understand, they don't have a sex. They can just.
Oh,
I think snails. It doesn't
They're
matter. You can just have
Oh,
one.
there's no
and,
male or female. They're all-
Spontaneous.
from my understanding, they don't.
Boom.
And they don't. They just happen.
They lay eggs.
Or they can switch or something like that. And when they lay eggs, they lay a lot of them, and they usually all hatch.
Yeah.
Or I think their
Apparently.
hatch rates
What a
are pretty
funny
high.
little character, isn't it?
And anyway,
We thought
before we knew
rabbits
it,
were productive.
before we knew it, we had so many snails in there. They're in the pipes. They're everywhere. They're clogging up pumps. I've got to clean pumps out now to get all the snails off. For some reason, they like getting on the vibrating pump. I don't know if they like the vibration or something. But
Probably
anyway, they
increases
clog
their
up the filter.
ability to
I got to get all the and they lay eggs along the sides of the tank. There's no algae anywhere. That's the good thing. But there's just snails. Instead of you looking down and seeing sheets of algae, you see sheets of snails.
Yeah.
It's really the bottom of the tank. There's not gravel or bed. There's not anything on the bottom of the tank, but a bunch of snail shells that are just down there. Or they're making up the gravel of the bed.
it's amazing.
At the bottom
And
of the
wouldn't
tank.
you say that
Really
probably
good.
happened
So
in
many.
I would say 6 to 8 months that
Oh,
happened?
yeah, even less than that. They just they exploded.
Put 5 in.
Yeah.
You know, if you were raising snails.
That'd
Wow.
be a great business to be in right now. Let me tell you. No, but oh man, that was a mistake. I was
So,
not
I have a
wise
question
idea.
because, snails, what are these things used for if they're not used for putting in things because they multiply?
I have no idea.
Can you imagine having
Apparently
a
they feed
stream
fish.
full of those things?
Okay, do people
So-
raise them
They're
for food or something?
Maybe food for fish.
You think?
Well, yeah.
Maybe. Well, I
Like you
bet
would
you
have a
Ducks.
I
Ducks
bet
love
you
them.
crabs or other
Like a
things
worm farm or
maybe
something?
eat them,
Yeah.
and I bet you that they're probably I bet you they're used for food.
kind of thing? Well, they
Yeah,
certainly would
does
be
a
a
dragon
wonderful
lizard?
source.
Does a dragon lizard eat snails? Do you know?
I have no idea. I don't think it's a dragon lizard. That's not it.
Is that the
It's not the one.
Aren't they a lizard and aren't they a dragon? Or are they called something else? Bearded dragon. I think.
That's the one.
Bearded dragon lizards. Do they eat? Do snakes and
Why don't we
other
go feed some to a dragon lizard thingy?
Well,
Do you know where one is?
Yeah,
don't know.
it's Adelie's pet. Our
Adelie?
friend. And so
Adley, send her some
send her
snails.
some snails. See who eats it.
There you go.
Okay.
actually, I think she also eats, she said she tried a cockroach farm at some point.
Good.
Oh.
Or a cricket farm, one of the
On
two.
the
That's a
was
big
one
difference.
Yeah.
There is quite a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah, one's kind
They're,
of
one's-
they're apparently not that hard to do.
Well, I would
Like-
imagine.
or
those multiply.
to
Okay.
make one.
Okay, so Luc Petit, I'm not sure how your last name is spelled,
Oh,
Luke. I'm
just
sorry.
butchered
Said,
that,
I'm
didn't
sorry. Okay, said I have a Photon S and I love it. This is from
good.
the resin printer that
The
that
resin.
Ryzen got.
Oh.
From in the video we
Oh,
showed
okay,
opening
yeah.
that package up to get some
Right.
a background on that. I have a Photon S and I love it. Finding a non-brittle resin after the bottle that comes with yours is finished should be your next goal. I quite like the Lego ABS.
Lego.
They have a gray,
Oh.
as good as an all-rounder, but I don't know what these special words are. You'll have to read it.
Also-
But basically, talking about trying to get a non-brittle one is your next one after the bottle runs out that it
A
comes with.
non-brittle one. Okay, so that's probably the plastic's probably pretty brittle then.
Maybe
I
I
was
don't
thinking,
know. I don't know.
if
We'll
he's
have to.
saying that.
We'll have to.
But that's cool that he's using a different kind of resin because I wasn't sure if I could vary the resins for those printers. It sounds like you can. You can get different brands.
Oh, I would.
So,
okay, good. Yeah, I would
That's good.
suppose.
That's good because I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know if they designed
Well, I
them
mean,
to
It's kind
work
of a new tech
with
for us.
that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
Light or whatever, wave or whatever. But that's cool.
Nice.
That's cool.
All right, so we have a we have a rock
Sorry about
in
that.
true My Little Homestead fashion, keeping this table up.
You
Okay,
do.
okay, so
Desert
It's a rock.
stone.
yeah,
Literally
you'll have
a
to
rock.
take a video of it so we can put it in there
Next
so
to
you
all
can
of our
see
feet
our
down
rock.
there.
Okay, so while Mama's videoing that, Andrew Craner says how to test a goat fence. And
The goat
stand
fence.
back from the fence about 5 feet. Throw a bucket of water at the fence. If any water makes it on the other side, it won't hold the goat. I think we ought to try that. I remember
Why is
it was
so
at Tom
true in some
Lindgren.
ways?
I think on our Patreon, he recommended when we did the chicken video on how to care for chickens. We're joking about trying to get the eggs, I think, out from underneath the hen
Oh, yeah.
while she's there, and you just kind of get bit. Well, Tom Lindgren, I believe it was him that suggested that it's going to sound really funny, but you cluck and then you slowly reach behind the chicken and grab eggs. And I'm telling you, I haven't been pecked yet.
That is so cool.
Really?
We
Yeah.
got to get that on video too. That is
You know,
that's
what
a
I
really
normally
good
do?
advice.
Maybe next week.
You know what I normally do, and it's mean, but I don't normally do this. Is I look at their face and I go, and I go over the top of their head, and then they get so focused on my hand, I can just reach my hand and blow it out, and then they're good.
I go
Yeah,
cluck,
yeah.
cluck, 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 and then I go into the back. And I'm telling you, I haven't been pecked in. They're like, wait, what? Like you get like wait, what? Wait, what? And then sometimes I'm like, and then I don't know, but I haven't been pecked in.
That's great. That is great.
I like that method better than mine.
Yeah.
Capturing their head is
So, maybe not
a little mean.
a little traumatizing, but it's fine.
They're like, what just happened?
Okay, William Moore. Okay, so I've set this comment up as well. We had a shot in this. It was a setup shot in the weekly peak. And we were hoping nobody would notice, but we had a score of people notice. Anyway, that's what this comment. At 9:24, how come the dog is walking backwards?
It's well trained.
It was funny because when we first edited that was the intro scene to that section, and then the outro was the other one. And we thought, well, when you watched it, something was wrong watching it. And sometimes just changing scenes around fixes things. So I thought, well, let's take the intro and swap it with the outro. But the problem, of just that section, right, the ins and the outs of that section, I thought I would swap them. But the deal is that I had to reverse the scenes then in order to swap them. And I honestly, on the small screen, I couldn't see that dog going backwards. I didn't even notice the dog. And then I think you were watching it, Bryce, and you're like,
We
the
kind
dog
of had a
just
bigger screen. I was like, my dog just walked backwards. He's got a talent I didn't know about.
And then normally if I don't notice it, then others won't either. So I just thought, well, I won't worry about it. We'll just do it. And then I thought, as long as no one's watching it on a really big screen, they probably won't. And we watched it here at the house.
It's very
My mom wanted to
noticeable.
watch it. We pulled it up. And it was like, oh, no, you can really see the dog.
Oh, it's a little Easter egg. We meant to do that. What are you talking about?
But yeah, the clip is just reversed.
Yeah.
Just-
You get 10
causes
points
that.
for noticing.
10 points to Gryffindor. No. Okay. What's up, Lizzie asks, where does Eugene sleep? And Eugene, we had a little video clip of him in this week's one. He's a little cute oinker. He's very happy with life. Always very happy with life. Anyway, he sleeps behind my house. There's a little
It was a
Shed.
little
building
we
shed
added
thing,
to
but
kinda-
it's small. It's like a doghouse. It's really
And
the size of it.
attached. It's attached to your house.
Yeah, and it's attached to
It's
my
an
house.
earth bag.
It was designed to hold a hot water tank to heat your flooring because we have piping that goes throughout your flooring
Yeah.
that it was going to heat up and do, but we didn't end up ever really pursuing that project.
Yeah, it never
So now it's
panned
just
out.
it's just a little building. Back
Yeah,
there.
but Eugene, we put in those little wood shaving chips, and he just roots in there and goes
loves
right to
it.
sleep. He loves it.
You know, Bryson, we should get the night vision camera out
and film him.
and film him at night. Just a little piece of him
A
sleeping
day in the
there.
life of Eugene.
Because
It is kinda
he's
funny.
got a cute
I
little
have
spot.
to put the goats in, so I walk by there every now and every
Yeah.
night to put the goats in, and And he used to figure out that we used to put the goats in the backyard. And when we did that, I'd put a little food out there for the goats. Well, he used to figure out that food is something he could eat too. And so he would get out there every night waiting for me to get that food. And he would wake up and get up. And now I'm not putting the goats in anymore, you know? So he gets up and he's like, where's my food? Where's my food? Food. Where's my food?
You're going to have that now for the rest of your life.
and I know. And every time I walk by there, he grunts at me like, you don't give me your food anymore.
Oh, do you finally break the habit? Is it difficult to break a pig of food habit?
It took a little bit.
He's demanding.
A goat is 3 days. A pig is 10.
Like, 10 or more, depending how smart it is.
Pigs
anyway.
are smart. And you think like we used to have the big black hogs, and they had the ears that flop over their eyes. So you would think that they couldn't really see or anything, but no, they're really smart. It's like they can hear you,
and like
or
they would
I'm
hear
not
something,
sure.
and because they're of course, you know, like you said, their ears would come over their eyes like this, you know. So you're like, can they even see anything? Are they gonna walk into something? But something would happen, like food or something, and they go like this, and their ears would go. I remember, and they're big hogs, you know. And they're like, you know.
I remember I used to lift their ears up and be like, "Hello, how you doing?" They would reveal their eye, and they'd be like, Put my ear back. Stop touching
it. So now that Garen and Ellie are doing their van conversion, we had must be a long-time subscriber of us that would know this information. But Mad Zabinga says, "Don't Garen and Ellie have a fifth wheel trailer? What happened to it?"
Oh yeah. Do you know what happened to it?
I do.
I think I do.
Yeah, I think when they made a deal on the house that they're living in, that was part of the deal, was that when they bought the house, the trailer would go to Ellie's folks, because they bought, if you remember right, they bought Ellie's folks' house.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. And that kind of leads us into the video that we posted on Wednesday, which was our just kind of going a quick rundown of our video equipment and all that kind of good jazz. We had a lot of really great questions on it, I thought, about production and stuff. Did you have that on your phone, Mom? Or I know shit.
I have one. Let's see. I have one question here that says, what software? It's from JR with a little space in between. Mm-hmm. What software are used for video editing, artwork, 3D printing, and architectural design? And I guess those are 4 different questions. Of course, the editing is just Final Cut Pro that we use. We use Max and Final Cut Pro for our editing software. And then 3D, what do you use?
For 3D printing, for like all the design work, I've been using 123 Design. It's by Autodesk. It's a free program that they released a while ago. They stopped developing it though, so it's just kind of stuck at the same version. But I like it. It really was intuitive for me to pick up, so I was able to really use it. And then for the slicer, I just use Curia. I know it's an Altermaker makes it. It's for their printers, but it's also for other printers too. It's more open source than most programs are, so and stuff in there. And that's the one that I tend to use. It makes really nice prints, so and it's free.
And then what do you use for when you put your building projects in?
You know, I've kind of done them in 2 different programs. I've done them in the program Clip Studio is one. I also you probably use that one, and then I use SketchUp, and then SketchUp, and then
Sketch It, a different one.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the one.
Sketch It.
It's either Sketch It or SketchUp.
No, it's SketchUp.
SketchUp is.
I thought Sketch It was a different program.
There's another one I use on my iPad. I can't remember the name of that one.
Oh,
I've used that
is
one
it done
too.
by Auto? I think that one's done.
Isn't it Pro
Sketch or something like that? Anyway,
Sketch or Sketch Pro.
It was free.
Something.
You know, it's real easy. If you just look around for free stuff, that's the stuff we use as much as we can. Right?
Cheap? Oh yeah, put me down for that. Free? Oh, great.
And
Except
thumbnails
when it
now.
comes to editing.
Thumbnails we use other software too. Yeah. Thumbnails, I use a combination. Bree does thumbnails. I do thumbnails. When I do them, I'll usually drop them in just briefly for Photoshop, sometimes to get the shadowing out of them. They have a really good shadow thing tool. And then I pull them out, and then I pretty much do them in Fireworks. But you have another.
I do
now.
Clip Studio Paint. Clip Studio Paint.
Clip Studio Paint Pro.
Oh, Pro. I don't know. It's changed names. It was Manga Studio when we bought
Years
it, and
ago.
now it's Clip Studio Paint. I lost track.
Wait a
of
month,
the
it'll
names.
change again.
but it's the same program.
Yeah.
And that's the one I draw all the artwork in and everything. So,
And then we use Audacity for the recording of this.
yeah.
And we use
OBS.
There's also one more thing too on the 3D printers. The newer 3D printer I got, I think, uses a different slicer. I've not played around with the new one yet.
Oh,
on
cool.
that.
That'll be fun.
Just the older, the FDM printers that I have.
You know,
I use
if
for
you
it.
think about it, we use a lot of different softwares to
We
make things
do.
work around here.
I use several other ones too, but not here, just for not for work. Really.
Oh, yeah. No, I do too.
Or it
you
is for
know,
work, but it's
so-
not for this work.
Yeah, we have a ton of other plugins and
Okay,
other
you
things
got
too.
one,
that go with
Bruce?
I
software.
do hear Charles L. Brown says, that is really cool. I'm trying to figure out a cheap camera to start out with. I have a lot of things to film. And that kind of, I wanted to mention, and I forgot when I was writing everything that we wanted to say, that one of the things that we love about the setup that we have is that all these cameras they're really cheap. A GoPro is a few $100, and the phones, you can get them used for the same kind of price. And that's one of the
work
things
really
we
well.
love as well. And these programs these phones are just about being able to compete with those big expensive camera, at least that we have.
Yeah.
The big one that we have would be that, what is it, the Panasonic one?
Yeah.
Lumix, whatever.
Lumix, yeah.
Lumix. And that one definitely, when you compare footage, as long as you can get the focus going, it really is a great camera. But these phones and the GoPros, they just do such a great
You
job,
don't have to
especially for what we're
focus
doing.
them
But
lots of times,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to tap
that's-
the screen or work on you don't have to focus. It just works, and that's what's really nice, especially if you don't have close-up eyesight or anything, like that. It works really, Then you know that when you take that shot, it's going to be in focus. Because that automatic focus and it's a silent automatic focus. Some cameras you get, like the bigger
You hear
ones,
the motors?
some of them are noisy. They're zit, 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 zit,
Yeah.
And then sometimes that comes in even the audio. I know we were recording sometimes, and you'd hear that thing. That would ruin so many shots. Remember that?
Yeah.
We had an older Canon.
It was like a T.
camera.
I think that was a TI3 at the time. It was
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
We
It was
had
Rebel?
a very,
You can
Maybe a
feel
Rebel?
it. You can feel it when holding the camera, too.
a very physical zoom on that thing. And I was like,
and just to sum it up, if I was to get one camera to get started, I would go with either a GoPro with maybe like a little Roadie mic. They make little cases for them, and go with a little Roadie mic, and that might cost you around $300-400. I would definitely go with the iPhone 8, since it's the only reason I would go with the iPhone 8 is because the prices aren't that much difference between them, and the iPhone 8 has got an incredible stabilizer.
Yeah, it really
and
does.
So, or if I already had an iPhone, and if I had, preferably iPhone 8 and above, that's another one I'd go with. And then I would definitely pick up the little MV88 mic or another mic for it, because that's where that's the hard part, is getting the sound. But and you can probably get an iPhone 8 for around the same price.
what do you say, like $200 maybe, or something
Bailey,
like that?
come here. Come here,
We,
Bailey.
we
other-
use,
Come here. You guys,
for our
do you
use.
remember Bailey?
oh, yes.
Come here, girl. Get up here. Do you guys remember Bailey? Yeah, because my brother Perry's here too. So we got to see Bailey again. She's doing excellent. Just getting, because when you remember right, she was very timid, and she's been with Perry now, and she's not timid anymore.
No, she's not.
She's very whole. She's very whole
She
inside.
was demanding I better not say the word because she's very smart.
Don't
A
say it.
WALK.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You say
she
that,
likes that.
she will go over to the door.
Yeah.
Oh, I probably
She's
even
got a
shouldn't see
great
that. I
bark.
probably shouldn't even say DOOR.
You know
'cause
how
that's-
they tell you to
Spell everything.
you know how
we
they
just
tell
start
you
spelling everything we say from now on, just in case. Who knows how smart that dog is?
she'll learn how to spell. She'll know.
She'll know.
Yeah, she's got a great bark too. You never
Yeah,
even
she's
know it.
got a great
I
bark.
want to say
Really
this
great.
comment kind of pulls into this
yeah.
too. It's Nora Julie, and she says, "We just got an iPhone 11. Is that the one to replace Bree's crush phone?" LOL.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, that brings up a good point too. On the camera phones, what's the cool thing about that is that you get a phone as well, and usually,
What?
it's nice.
What do they
'cause
call that?
Sometimes
Is that the one with the little rotary thing?
Well, you get a camera plus the phone. It's kind of a bonus. You know? Instead of just getting a camera, you get a camera with a phone.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you know when the first cell phones came out, back when I was, younger?
They were very big.
Stone Age sometime. And, they were a brick. And I remember a buddy of mine at school in the band had one. And everybody was like so envious of him because he had a cell phone. Of course, he couldn't use it all the time. And his mom and dad restricted the amount of time because it costs, for the minutes and stuff. But he had one, and there was a lot of times we just want to go someplace or do something, and he would bring it out, and he'd be on this great big brick.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
Speaking of that, I'll give you Stephen Council.
Oh, yeah.
His
Stephen.
story.
Oh, yeah.
He says,
okay.
other than goofing around with my phone, the only video camera I've ever used was a Beta BC back in the 80s. It was the size of a suitcase, weighed about 15 pounds, so it stayed on a tripod most of the time. It took about 3 minutes for the camera to warm up and about 3 to 5 minutes to set up because you had to manually set the white balance and other settings.
No.
Then, after all that, you might get about 15 minutes of video on slow mode before you were out of tape, or worse, your battery went dead.
Oh, man.
Those are the good old days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just take our phone out. We've charged all night and we're ready to go.
My mom and dad, when we started with YouTube, we had a really big camera, and you had to like manually white
That's
balance
right. It was
it,
like-
and you had to do the tape thing.
It was a size.
Which one was that? The VX1000?
I have no idea what it was. I just remember it was
thing had
huge.
this big old
Sony
handle on
VX1000.
top of it too.
Yeah, it's a Sony.
was a big
There was
boy.
a Sony VX1000.
You had to
that
put
we
tape in
had.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
boy, I tell you
Yeah,
what,
they
the
do
story
change
on that
that.
is very cool. When we first started out, I think we were just about getting married about that time. I wanted to shoot weddings and things like that, and I wanted to go digital. And they had the 1/4-inch chips, 3 1/4-inch chins, red, green, blue, in this new Sony VX1000. And the cool thing about that is before Panasonic came up with their 3-chip camera, so I was like, ooh, I was like right on the edge of technology. As a matter of fact, I was so far on the edge of technology, you couldn't do anything with the tape. They didn't have a digital computer components built yet and sold yet until like 6 months, a year later, something like that. I had to wait to do that and to get it on the computer to edit it. But I had a cool camera, and it was really cool. Because remember, the color were so, today we're probably going, But anyway, that was like cool.
Yeah, we would be.
Here, let me press a button on my phone to make that better.
And
got another
I was
one here.
I was going around weddings,
Here, let me change
shooting
the
weddings.
filter.
Great,
That
that's
was
great.
fun.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, get another one. Gadget Media says, hey guys, awesome video into how you film things. Rode microphones are made in Australia where I live, and throughout this video I find it very interesting you guys pronounced it Roadie, as I'm pretty sure it's pronounced road, but all people pronounce stuff different. Stay safe, guys. And I will say probably most people here pronounce it road too.
A road, maybe.
But we like to say roadie because, like, have you ever been to, like, in California, they have Rodeo Drive?
Ooh.
And do you realize that's just spelled like rodeo? It's Rodeo Drive, really. But in California, you say rodeo. So we just want to make the mic sound really cool.
Yes.
So we say
My
roadie.
roadie. Yeah.
Plus, when have we ever said anything right ever?
Yes.
Like
Called bricks,
color.
blocks, and blocks, bricks.
In a world of MLH, it's called roadie.
Yeah.
It's just a trick to get a lot of comments. Let's be
Yeah,
real.
let's be real. We wanted to see who would notice. Good job.
We make up our own
Congratulations.
words. We have our own dictionary. It's awesome.
I wonder what the company actually intended it to be said like.
Road.
Probably road.
It's made in
Probably
Australia. The
road.
guy from Australia says, hey, it's made
That's
road.
funny.
Yeah, just like the guy who we all say GIF, but the guy who invented that wanted it GIF. And I'm like, if you wanted a GIF, you should have spelt it with a J.
Hello. Well, wait a minute. There's a lot of Jeffs out there. Not Jeff. It's Geough or
Well,
something.
that's
like
different.
Yeah.
Now that's per person.
That. Oh,
Yeah,
We
that's-
respect that, and we probably should respect the GIF thing. But I'm so used to GIF that
Yeah,
it's
GIF
never
is-
going back.
Yeah, well, it's like a gift, but it's better. It's a gift.
Yeah. Oh, there's so much internet debate over GIF and GIF. It's not even funny. I
Oh,
just
gosh.
stumbled into that. I'm sorry.
We should come up with something called a gift shift.
What?
Like a gift shift. It combines the GIF and the GIF. GIFs. GIFs. GIFs.
yeah.
GIF gifs.
Work
Giga
on
gifs.
that. That should be fun.
Gigabits. Gigabits. It is a combination of the two.
Gajif.
Kajif.
Gajif.
Kajif.
Okay.
What you got there, Mom? Anything?
Oh,
If not, we can.
no, it's just kind of, I was laughing at Candy Wolf just says, thank you. It's like she doesn't understand anything that we're talking on, but thank you anyway.
Hey, we don't understand it. That's cool.
That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun we're always trying new gadgets and stuff as well, because you never know when you hit on the next great thing that's going to be awesome for video making. It's like every time you acquire something that totally it'll change, and you don't even know what you did without it, like auto white balancing. Remember how we had to auto white balance to get that piece of paper out? Oh my gosh, it'd take forever to white balance just so we could get it done, and now we don't even think about white balancing. It's just the camera does it. So each new gadget takes away one extra step, it seems like. If you can get one.
And with Garen and Ellie, they are on the move. They are just. So we just wait.
No, we just need to keep going here.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm going to be...
Well,
Hey, we need to cut that part where I said...
Yeah, I got you. It's a 17. Go ahead.
So, Garen and Ellie are just like always on the move. So, we were really excited when the 8 came out, because Garen had sent us a video where you could actually shake. And when I mean by 8, I mean the GoPro. He could shake it like this, and at least the videos. And it was like, and we're like, oh yeah, that is the camera for Garen and Ellie.
I was over there using it, and then it was like. And I was like, oh, that's kind of a little... I was like, oh, that's not as good as I thought. And then he was like, no, wait. He goes, that's not on max. And he turns it on max. And I'm like, my God, I could move that thing like a foot in either direction. You could not even see it on the camera. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I was
Pretty
just
exciting. The technology is very
believe it.
exciting.
I
It's
was
getting
moving the
smaller
camera
and
around.
tighter, and the coloring is very exciting technology.
It really
And
is.
I think Bree mentioned this too. My brother.
Yeah, if you
that's my brother.
If you hear talking in the background,
Perry.
it's just them. They're like, and then they don't realize it. Slowly, like they'll be quiet for like maybe 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden they'll start talking, and then they're
He's like,
they're so cute. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
But we actually have a video tip series. We've been talking about it a lot, and we actually are working on it in the background quite a bit through college or whatever you do to be a film person. But it's just all the things that we've
We
learned.
just play one on TV.
But it's just all the little things that we've learned over the years, and just putting them into little tips and just short little things. And we'll be definitely doing that, because we know that, I don't know, it's just something that we love to do, and we love to share those things too. So we'll be doing that.
Yeah, so that'll be upcoming. We've got actually quite a few things that we're working on. You never know what we're coming up with. I know we talked about music that we're talking about doing as well. So we've got definitely the video tips. So that's our next. And we have also some other stuff as well that we're looking to do in the future. So, should we wrap it up here?
I want to just say that I've been looking at this really cool tiger that hangs off, and I want to show you that.
Grandma has some of the coolest things sitting up here.
She's got some really...
just fun stuff going on.
Look at her. She's
decorations.
She's
Look at us. She's filming us filming.
Oh.
Now she ran. She ran because.
So I'll look up here though. Look at how cool that is.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So cool.
I got to get closer.
Yeah, you gotta get close up there, Ma.
Up there.
So many cute things. Yeah.
She has this whole it goes around the whole room, and it's like this upper shelf, and she puts all kinds of things up there. She's got Black Panthers over there, horses above the door, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
And Indians over here.
Just lots of Native American art and
Native American, I guess.
And all kinds of fun stuff.
Very cool.
Very cool.
She always has all that kind of stuff. I think she does the pottery, doesn't she? She does not the pottery.
Yeah, Grandma does all kinds of fun art and crafts.
Oh, she does the glass sculpturing.
Sculpture.
And
you could
from bottles.
She was showing the
horsehair
horsehair,
stuff.
how you could put the horsehair on there, and the pot is nice and
horsehair
hot,
pottery.
and makes the sizzle mark. It's very cool.
Yep.
Very cool artwork indeed.
She's quite the artist.
She is quite the artist. Yeah. Okay. Should we wrap it up here, Mom? Do you have something else there?
I thought there was something else, but it's okay. I can't really find it.
Can't really find it. Okay. Well, we really appreciate you hanging out with us. We are going to. We're trying to decide what we're going to do for a Wednesday video. We had loosely talked about maybe doing. There's a truck thing we were thinking about.
Semi truck on Perry, my brother,
Yeah.
Uncle Perry's truck.
Oh yeah, that's
And
right. We're gonna-
he's got a brand new, really cool tool that he's been really excited about.
It's
It's
is
the
really
only
cool.
tool I have ever seen that works with the internet. Literally, you can get a Wi-Fi
On your
signal
phone
on your phone
and control
and
it.
control it and adjust
You can
it.
just control what torque you
Yeah.
want to tighten stuff
Yeah.
down with on your phone.
And it's not light. I mean, this thing like could break loose.
No.
These great big 2,
And
3,
it's-
4
yeah,
inch
from what I
bolts.
understand,
We
it is
should've-
the only tool out there right now on the market that actually is battery operated that can.
Yeah.
Well, let's see
release-
where you're going to
From
see if
what
it
we
can do it.
understand.
Maybe it
Yeah.
doesn't
It may
work.
not.
Of course, the battery
But
is
that's what Perry
the
said,
battery's
no.
this big, and the gun takes 2 hands to hold.
It's massive.
Yeah,
I don't think
we
you can
really
one
should have
hand
used
that.
to hold this table up as opposed to our rack.
We should have. Yeah.
So
And
that's
when
probably.
when you push the trigger.
Oh,
you
yeah,
feel it torque
Yeah.
like to the side, like it's.
Yeah, so don't break your arm off
It's
when
the
you're
big
out there
boy.
working with that
No,
thing. So
I
get your
could
hand
see that
smashed.
happening. with
Yeah,
that
smash
thing.
your hand,
Oh
break
my
your
gosh.
neck.
It's
I'm
an
sorry, let my
impact,
eye-
though.
let my
so
eye
it's
roll.
not. It's an impact, so it's
Can
not
it
going
explode?
It's not like a normal drill where you have to force it.
It could
constantly.
explode
Impacts.
if you got if you got a crooked or something.
So that'll probably be on. We're thinking that'll probably be the Wednesday video. Nothing's ever guaranteed because we don't know if how the footage, if we whatever how
Part of
that
it, yeah.
works
Part
out.
of,
But
part of the video.
we're gonna
whatever.
get under. They're gonna get under the semi truck, and we'll film that. We'll film that tool working, and that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Definitely.
Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we will catch you again on Wednesday for that video, whatever it may be. Dun dun dun. Bye.
We'll see you later. Bye.